The alien council was furious. They had never imagined that an old human ship, one they had mocked and ridiculed, could cause so much destruction. The once mighty fleet of the Threxian Empire now floated in pieces, scattered across space. Their top warships, once feared throughout the galaxy, had been destroyed by a ship they had dismissed as ancient and outdated. The alien leaders knew they had to act quickly. They couldn't let this humiliation stand. High Commander Vorak, a tall and imposing figure with dark, glowing eyes, stood at the center of the council chamber. He slammed his fist on the table. "We cannot allow humans to continue! They embarrassed us in front of the entire galaxy. Their ship is powerful, yes, but it is old. We will destroy it." The other council members nodded in agreement. They had all seen the destruction firsthand and felt the sting of shame. The humans had made them look weak, and in the galaxy, weakness was never forgiven. "We underestimated them," said one of the advisors, her voice shaky. "Their ship is not just old, it has technology we have never seen before. We cannot take them lightly again." Vorak growled, his sharp teeth glinting. "I do not care what tricks they have. We will crush them. We will send our most advanced fleet, armed with the best weapons. Their old ship won't stand a chance against our new warships." The room buzzed with agreement. The Threxian Empire was known for its military power. They had ruled over dozens of planets and had never lost a war. The idea that a single human ship could stop them was unacceptable. Commander Zarl, a cold and calculating strategist, leaned forward in his chair. "We must strike quickly, before they have time to prepare. If we overwhelm them with numbers, they will not be able to fight back. We will hit them hard and fast from all sides." Vorak grinned. "Yes, we will make them pay for what they have done. Assemble the fleet." We launched the attack in 3 rotations. The council members quickly moved to their stations, sending orders throughout the Empire. Massive warships, the pride of the Threxian fleet, began to prepare for battle. Each ship was equipped with the latest in energy weapons and shields. They had been designed to conquer entire planets, and now their target was one small human ship. As the fleet gathered, High Commander Vorak stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the preparation. He could see the rows of ships lined up in formation, their sleek designs reflecting the cold, dark space around them. This would be their revenge. No human ship, no matter how ancient or powerful, could stand against the full might of the Threxian fleet. "We will show them the strength of the Threxian Empire," Vorak said, his voice full of confidence. "No one embarrasses us and gets away with it. The humans will soon learn their place." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the ancient human ship floated calmly through space. Its crew, having survived the last battle, knew that the aliens would return. The ship's advanced systems were already scanning the stars, picking up faint signals of the incoming alien fleet. The humans had beaten the aliens once, but they knew this time would be different. The aliens would not make the same mistake twice. They would come with more ships, more firepower, and a burning desire for revenge. But the humans were ready. The ancient ship, with its long-hidden secrets, had more power than anyone had realized. And this time they wouldn't hold back. Back in the Threxian Empire, Vorak smiled as the countdown to the attack began. He couldn't wait to wipe the humans from existence. Soon, their ancient ship would be nothing but space debris, and the Threxians would once again reign supreme. Little did he know, the real fight was just beginning. The human ship drifted silently through space, its exterior battered from the last battle but still intact. Inside the ship, the crew worked tirelessly, preparing for the next attack. They knew the aliens were coming. The Threxian Empire would never give up after the crushing defeat they had suffered. But this time the humans were ready. Captain Reynolds, a seasoned officer with sharp eyes and a calm demeanor, stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic map of the galaxy. Tiny red dots representing the incoming alien fleet blinked closer and closer. The Threxians were bringing everything they had, hundreds of warships, all armed with the latest technology. The humans had only one ship, but it was no ordinary vessel. "This ship has secrets," Reynolds said quietly, more to himself than anyone else. "Secrets even we don't fully understand." The USS Odyssey, as it was called, was ancient, built by human engineers thousands of years ago. It had been designed to withstand the most powerful enemies, but much of its technology had been lost over time. The current crew didn't know everything about how the ship worked, but they had learned enough to realize that it held incredible power. and now they were about to test it. Lieutenant Grace, the ship's chief engineer, looked up from her console. "Captain, we've detected the Threxian fleet. They'll be in firing range within the hour." Reynolds nodded. "Activate the shields and prepare all defensive systems. I want the EMP cannons online and the stealth field ready." The USS Odyssey was equipped with technology far beyond anything the Threxians had ever encountered. One of its most powerful tools was the EMP cannon, a weapon that could disable any electronic system within a wide radius. It had already proven its worth in the last battle, leaving the Threxian ships helpless as they floated through space. But that wasn't the ship's only defense. "Stealth field engaged," Grace reported. "We'll be invisible to their scanners." The ship's stealth technology was another ancient secret. It allowed the Odyssey to disappear from enemy sensors, making it impossible to target. The Threxians might bring their entire fleet, but they wouldn't be able to hit what they couldn't see. As the alien warships drew closer, the crew braced for the coming storm. The tension on the bridge was thick, but there was no panic. The crew trusted their ship and their captain. Reynolds turned to his first officer, Commander Hayes. "They'll come in hard and fast, expecting to overwhelm us. But we won't give them that chance." Hayes smiled grimly. "Let them come. They don't know what they're walking into." Outside the ship, the Threxian fleet closed in, their massive warships looming like dark shadows against the stars. The alien commanders, confident in their numbers, began to prepare their weapons. They thought the humans were weak. They thought the ancient ship would crumble under their firepower. But they were wrong. The first wave of alien ships opened fire, sending beams of energy and plasma towards the Odyssey. But the human ship's shields, a mysterious energy barrier, absorbed the hits without even a flicker. Inside the ship, the crew barely felt the impact. "They're hitting us with everything they've got," Grace said, her hands flying over the controls. "Shields are holding at full strength." "Good," Reynolds said. "Now it's our turn." He gave the order and the EMP cannons fired. Bright blue pulses of energy shot out from the ship, spreading in all directions. The alien ships, caught off guard, were hit hard. One by one, their systems went dark, their engines shutting down, their weapons silenced. The mighty Threxian fleet, thought to be unstoppable, floated helplessly in space. Reynolds watched the scene unfold on the screen, his expression calm but determined. That should keep them quiet for a while. But he knew the battle wasn't over. The Threxians would recover, and they would come again, stronger and more determined. The human ship's defenses had bought them time, but the real fight was still ahead. "Prepare for the next wave," Reynolds ordered. "This is just the beginning." High Commander Vorak paced back and forth on the bridge of his flagship, the Imperator. The once proud fleet of the Threxian Empire was now in chaos. The humans had proven to be more formidable than he had ever imagined. Their ancient ship, the USS Odyssey, had crippled his fleet with its strange weapons. Vorak's anger boiled inside him, but he knew he had to keep his focus. The Threxians could not afford to lose again. "We need a new plan," Vorak growled. He looked at his advisors, their faces filled with fear and confusion. "We underestimated them before, and now we are suffering the consequences." Commander Zarl, ever the strategist, stepped forward. "We should send a small team to board the human ship. We need to learn its secrets. If we can find out how it works, we can destroy it for good." Vorak considered this. The humans had relied on their ship's technology, and perhaps by capturing some of it, the Threxians could turn the tide of the battle. He nodded slowly. "Very well. Prepare a boarding party. Make sure they are armed with the best weapons and protective gear. I want that ship's secrets for myself." Suddenly, Grace shouted from her console, "Captain! The ship's systems are responding to the battle. It's drawing power from the core." Reynolds looked around in confusion. "What do you mean?" "The core reacts to our emotions. It can enhance our abilities if we stay focused," Grace explained, her voice filled with excitement. "If we can channel its energy, we can unleash a powerful defense against the Threxians." With determination burning in his chest, Reynolds shouted, "Everyone focus! We need to unite our strength and protect this ship." The crew closed their eyes, channeling their energy towards the core. As they did, a brilliant blue light engulfed the room, and the ship thrummed with newfound power. The humans could feel the connection between them and the Odyssey, a bond that gave them strength. Zarl, realizing he was losing control of the situation, attempted to rally his remaining soldiers. "We can't let them win! Push forward! Seize the core!" But it was too late. The humans unleashed a wave of energy that pushed the Threxians back. The bright light filled the room, blasting the alien soldiers away and sealing the exit. Reynolds, emboldened by the ship's power, took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Zarl, you have attacked us, and now you face the consequences. We will not be a victim of your empire any longer." Zarl looked at the humans, fear creeping into his expression. "You cannot defeat us forever. We will return stronger than before." Reynolds shook his head. "This is your final warning. Leave our ship, and tell your leaders that we will not tolerate another attack. If you come for us again, we will unleash the full power of the USS Odyssey." The energy in the room intensified, pulsing with the strength of the ship. Reynolds felt a surge of confidence. The Odyssey was not just a ship. It was a weapon, a fortress, and a protector. Zarl took a step back, realizing he was outmatched. "We will retreat for now," he said, anger boiling beneath his calm facade. "But this is not the end. The Threxian Empire will come back, and we will take what is ours." With that, the remaining Threxians fell back, their retreat quick and desperate. The humans watched as the aliens fled back to their shuttle, their defeat evident in their hurried movements. Once the last alien left the ship, Reynolds turned to his crew, breathing a sigh of relief. "We did it! We held our ground." The crew cheered, their spirits high. They had stood together against a powerful enemy and emerged victorious. But Reynolds knew this was only a temporary victory. The Threxians would not stay away for long. They would return, angrier and more determined than ever. "Prepare for future battles," Reynolds said, his voice serious. "We have sent our warning, but we must be ready for whatever comes next. The USS Odyssey is our home, and we will defend it with our lives." As the crew began their preparations, the ship hummed softly around them. The bond between the humans and their ancient ship had never been stronger, and they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The Threxian Empire had underestimated them before, but they would not make that mistake again. The USS Odyssey sat quietly in space, its engines humming softly as the crew celebrated their hard-won victory. The Threxian soldiers had retreated, but Captain Reynolds knew this was just the calm before the storm. The war was far from over. In the Threxian flagship Imperator, High Commander Vorak seethed with rage. He paced the bridge, his anger radiating through the room. "We were humiliated by those humans. We cannot let this stand. They think they can defeat us, but they are wrong." Vorak's advisors exchanged nervous glances. They knew how powerful the Threxian Empire was, but the defeat had shaken their confidence. Commander Zarl, who had been part of the boarding party, stepped forward. "Commander, the humans used the core's energy to defeat us. They have tapped into the ship's secrets. We need to regroup and prepare for a stronger attack." Vorak nodded, his mind racing. "You're right. We will not make the same mistake again. We will gather our forces and return to finish what we started. This time we will take the Odyssey and crush the humans once and for all." Meanwhile, aboard the Odyssey, the crew was still riding the high of their victory. Reynolds gathered everyone in the main hall, looking at the faces of his crew. "I am proud of all of you. We fought bravely today and we defended our home. But we must remain vigilant. The Threxians will come back. We need to be ready." Lieutenant Grace raised her hand. "Captain, I think we should study the ship's core further. If we can unlock its full potential, we might have an advantage in the next battle." Reynolds nodded thoughtfully. "Good idea, Grace. Let's start analyzing the core's energy output and see if we can harness it for our weapons and defenses. The more we know, the better prepared we will be." As the crew set to work, the atmosphere was filled with determination. They were not just fighting for themselves, they were fighting for Earth, for their families, and for their future. The USS Odyssey was a symbol of hope, and they would protect it at all costs. Back on the Imperator, Vorak received reports of Threxian fleets gathering. He saw an opportunity to rally his forces and unleash their full might against the humans. "Send word to all nearby ships. We will strike again, and this time we will take the Odyssey before they can prepare." Days passed, and the tension in space grew. The Odyssey and its crew worked tirelessly, testing the ship's systems and training for the next battle. They knew the Threxians were coming, and they had to be ready. Finally, the day arrived. An alert sounded on the ship, and Grace rushed to her console. "Captain, we have multiple Threxian ships entering our sector." Reynolds felt his heart race. "All hands, battle stations. Prepare for engagement. Let's show them we are ready this time." The crew sprang into action. They took their positions, adrenaline pumping through their veins. Reynolds gripped the command chair, staring at the view screen as the Threxian fleet loomed closer. "Open a channel to the Threxians," Reynolds ordered. He knew he had to send one final warning. The screen flickered to life, revealing Vorak's furious face. "You humans have made a grave mistake," Vorak sneered. "You may have won this battle, but you will not win the war. We will take what is ours." Reynolds stood tall. "We will not back down, Vorak. The Odyssey is under our protection. If you come for us again, we will fight until our last breath." Vorak's eyes narrowed. "Then prepare to be destroyed!" With that, the channel closed, and the battle began. The Odyssey fired its weapons, brilliant beams of energy lighting up the darkness of space. The Threxian ships returned fire, and the two fleets clashed in a dazzling display of light and power. Inside the Odyssey, the crew fought with everything they had. Reynolds felt the ship's energy flowing through him, and he guided his crew with confidence. They had faced danger before, and they would do it again. As the battle raged on, Reynolds knew that this was only the beginning. The Threxians would keep coming, but the humans had something they didn't, the spirit to fight for their home. The war was not over, but they were ready to face whatever came next. With the USS Odyssey as their shield, the crew stood united, determined to protect their future against the looming threat of the Threxian Empire.